What is going on, everybody? EGYPTION back with another deck profile, and today we are doing a Slifer the Sky Dragon deck profile. I suppose this could be any Egyptian god, but this was kind of tailored towards Slifer the Sky Dragon because of the new spell cards and trap cards that kind of support the, Poker Knight archetype, I guess. So you could also call it the Arcana Knight, but I like to think of them as the poker cards, or just the standard deck of 52 cards. We've got the Jack, the Queen, the King, and finally we've got the Joker as well. So we'll go ahead and get started with the deck list. We've got a couple normal monsters because the deck kind of revolves around these specific named monsters. We're running 3 copies of Jack's Knight and 3 copies of Queen's Knight. Onto the effect monsters, we're running 3 Arcana Triumph Joker. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send 1 each of Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight from your hand or face up in the monster zone to the graveyard to special summon this card. And it also gains 500 attack times the combined number of cards in both players' hands, so I think like a maximum of 10,000. You can discard 1 card to destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls with the same type, monster, spell, or trap as the discarded card. And this effect is really good because a few of your spells and traps add themselves back to your hand at the end of the turn. So you'll be able to use all 3 of these effects pretty consistently. Next, we got the 1 copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra because we're running Sphere Mode. Because Sphere Mode can summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra in niche circumstances, so why not run it, right? It's an Egyptian god deck, so go ahead and put him in there, right? Next, we got 3 of the main star of the show. We got 3 Slifer the Sky Dragon. I'm sure a lot of you know what this card does, but if you don't, this card is an Egyptian god, so all Egyptian gods require 3 tributes, and that's pretty much what this deck is pretty good at setting up. Its normal summon cannot be negated, so Solemn Strike does not work on the summon of Slifer the Sky Dragon. When it's normal summon, cards and effects cannot be activated. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was special summoned, send it to the graveyard. That's only if it was like special summoned from the graveyard or something. If you use Monster Reborn on it, it will just send itself back to the graveyard. It gains 1,000 attack for each card in your hand, so a maximum of 5,000. It can go a little bit higher than that, but at the end of your turn, you have to discard until you have 5 cards in the hand, so it kind of has a soft maximum of 5,000. If a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's field in attack position, that monster loses 2,000 attack. Then, if its attack is reduced to 0 as a result, destroy it. So against the right deck, this can actually be really oppressive. If your opponent tries to normal summon out a monster with less than 2,000 attack, it will just be immediately destroyed, and it can't be used as, like, say, a link material or an Xyz material or anything like that. That's kind of why I think Slifer is one of the better Egyptian gods. I know that Obelisk is, I think, unaffected by something. I know it's unaffected. I know that word does appear in there. But Slifer is iconic. He was used by Yugi in the anime. But if you want to get really technical, then he used all of them. But Slifer is the one that he's best known for. Alright, just to get on with the deck profile, we've got the 1 Sphere Mode. Just in case your opponent has a bunch of oppressive boss monsters, you can go ahead and tribute over all of them with Sphere Mode. Next, we got 3 copies of Joker's Knight. Now, this card has a pretty interesting effect. You can send 1 each of Queen's Knight, King's Knight, or Jack's Knight from your deck to the graveyard. Sorry, not 1 each, just 1 of those 3 cards. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, this card's name becomes the sent monster's name until the end phase. Then during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard, you can target another light warrior and then shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to the hand. A lot of the new, Poker Knight cards do add themselves back to the hand, so that is a common theme you'll see with the monster, the spell, and the trap. And the name change effect actually does come up quite a lot because King's Knight effect only works while you control Queen's Knight. The standard move is to special summon Joker's Knight, send Queen's Knight, and then normal summon your King's Knight in order to get Jack's Knight out onto the field. So this does come up quite a lot. Usually a lot of the name change effects in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are kind of niche, but this does help further along your plays quite a lot. Because our win conditions are not just Slifer, but we also have Arcana Triumph Joker, and we also have Arcana Extra Joker as well. Next, we got 3 copies of King's Knight. Like I said, when this card is normal summoned while you control Queen's Knight, you can special summon a Jack's Knight from the deck. That gives you the 3 monsters required for the tribute of Slifer the Sky Dragon. But if you've already used up your normal summon on King's Knight, you do have other plays as well. So, King's Knight is very, very good in this deck, and it is supported by a lot of the spells and traps. Next up, we got 2 copies of Imperial Bower, or Imperial Bower. Potato, potato, right? If you control no other monsters, you contribute this card, take 2 different monsters from your deck among Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and or Jack's Knight, and either add them to your hand or special summon each monster. You can only use this effect of Imperial Bower once per turn. This effect is pretty alright. If you already control one of your cards, then you can go ahead and special summon both of them out using Imperial Bower, and then maybe go into like a link play, or if you haven't used your normal summon yet, you can go for a Slifer the Sky Dragon play. But all in all, that's why we're only running the 2 copies of this, because its effect won't come up nearly as much as the other cards. First up for the spells, we have 1 copy of Pot of Avarice, because we will have a lot of monsters in the graveyard, and monsters in the graveyard that we want to be in the deck. And we want them to be in the deck desperately. So having the Pot of Avarice is good for recycling those materials, and it also allows you to draw 2 cards off of that as well. Next, we got the 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Like I said earlier, Slifer the Sky Dragon, when he's special summoned from the graveyard, will destroy itself during the end phase, but Ra does not have that stipulation. But I'm pretty sure, oh wait, he cannot be special summoned, never mind. But you can also Monster Reborn maybe your Queen's Knight if you need your King's Knight to go off and you don't have any of your other cards in the hand, or maybe you want to get back your Arcana Extra Joker, right? Monster Reborn is just really, really great for this deck, and you can also use it on one of your opponent's cards if you control two monsters, but not 3. You can go ahead and Monster Reborn one of your opponent's cards, and then use that for the tribute summon of Slifer. Alright, first up for our new cards, we have Joker's Straight. You can discard 1 card to special summon 1 Queen's Knight from your deck, then add a King's Knight or Jack's Knight from the deck to the hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 monster. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for Light Warriors. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target a Light Warrior, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Joker's Straight once per turn. So like I said earlier with the Joker's Knight, a lot of these new cards, the Joker's cards, allow you to add these cards back to the hand, and we do have 1 of each type, the monster, the spell, and the trap. So with your Arcana Triumph Joker, that's really, really great, and for your Arcana Extra Joker, it's really, really great. But also for Slifer, because you're going to be continuously recurring resources to boost up your Slifer up to its maximum attack value. And also it allows you to special summon Queen's Knight, and then add King's Knight, and summon it without using your actual normal summon, so you can get your Jack's Knight and then tribute for Slifer. And so all in all, this is a really, really awesome card. I love this card. It's not really super competitive, but I do really, really like this card a lot. Next, we've got the 2 copies of Soul Crossing to be able to tribute 1 of your opponent's monsters. 2 copies of Thunder Force Attack to destroy your opponent's monsters and then draw cards equal to the number that you destroyed. Next, we got 3 copies of Thunder Speed Summon. I do really like this card, and I'm going to go ahead and read the effect. During your main or battle phase, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 level 10 monster, or if you control Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight, you can apply this effect instead. Add 1 level 10 non-dark monster with question mark attack from your deck to your hand. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 level 10 monster. You can only activate 1 Thunder Speed Summon per turn. So, let's say you got a Thunder Speed Summon and a Joker's Straight. You go ahead and use your Joker's Straight to summon all of your Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight, and King's Knight. Then you can use Thunder Speed Summon to add Slifer directly from the deck, and then you can go ahead and normal summon it. And at the end of the turn, you get Joker's Straight back, and you're able to recycle 1 of your Knights. So great card, you're able to search out Slifer, you're able to get out your big boss Egyptian god earlier. Next, we got the 1 copy of Double or Nothing, because we do have the Utopia Double. Because going from Utopia Double to Utopia to be able to swing for 10,000 attack is really, really awesome. and it's a game ender, and let's say you just need just that little bit more damage, go ahead and pop that double or nothing. Next, we got 2 copies of Mound of the Bound Creator. Honestly, if you want to take out the Double or Nothing and the Utopias, you can add in 1 more copy of Mound of the Bound Creator, because what it does is a level 10 or higher monsters on the field cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects, i.e. your Slifer. And if a level 10 or higher monster destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, the player who controlled the destroyed monster takes 1000 damage. When this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add a divine monster from your deck to your hand, that being your Slifer, or you can add in your Sphere Mode or Ra. But mostly, you're going to be adding your Slifer. Next, we got 3 copies of Joker's Wild. During the main or battle phase, you can send 1 spell from your deck to the graveyard that specifically lists all of Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight. This effect becomes that spell's effect when that card is activated. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Light Warrior, shuffle it into the deck, then add this card back to the hand. So with this card, you can send Joker straight, and its effect becomes that of Joker straight. So it allows you to special summon your Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight, and King's Knight, right? But it also puts Joker straight in the graveyard, which at the end of the turn shuffles back 1 of your Light Warriors and then adds itself back to the hand to be able to be used next turn. Joker's Wild will also add itself back to the hand, and I'm pretty sure Joker's Wild can also send Thunder Speed Summon because it does mention all of those cards by name. So Joker's Wild is an obvious 3 of in this deck. Alright, now on to the extra deck. We're just running a bunch of generic extra deck monsters, except for, of course, the Arcana Extra Joker, because this deck is mostly centered around the main deck. So I put in the Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, because we do run quite a few level 10 monsters, one that can be special summoned quite easily. So let's just say that you need that extra little bit of damage. You can go ahead and Xyz summon into your Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon to inflict 2000 points of damage. You've got 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, another card that can gain a stupid high amount of attack, 1 Utopia, 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Baguska, 1 Castel, 1 Evil Swarm Exiton Knight, 1 Utopia Double, Access Code Talker, Apollosa, and then 2 Arcana Extra Joker. I will be reading this one's effect. It requires 3 warrior monsters with different names. Obviously, that is your Queen's, Jack's, and King's Knight. Once per turn, when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field or a monster this card points to, quick effect, you can discard the same type of card and negate the activation. When this link summon card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 4 warrior normal monster from your deck. And if you do, add 1 level 4 warrior monster from your deck to your hand. So this card can potentially give you something of an Omni Negate if you have 1 of each card in your hand, and if you discard Joker straight with the effect of Arcana Extra Joker, it will add itself back to the hand during the end phase, just as long as they didn't use Called by the Grave on it. But I'm pretty sure you can only use Called by the Grave on monsters anyway, so with the whole gimmick of this deck being that these cards all add themselves back to the hand, it's pretty easy to get the negate off of Arcana Extra Joker. And if it points to your Slifer, Slifer also cannot be targeted by their effects as long as you have 1 of those cards. So this card is actually really awesome. I do like it a lot, and I like the design of it too. I think that this card looks really, really awesome. Then we just have the Nightmare package of Unicorn, Phoenix, and Cerberus. And that was the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys really liked it, and yeah, me personally, I really love Slifer the Sky Dragon. I remember watching the anime as a kid and just seeing him, thinking it was the coolest thing ever. Definitely better than Obelisk and Ra because it was Yugi's card, right? I was a huge Yugi fanboy as a kid. But I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, what you would change, what you would put in, what you would take out. And this has been Drew YGO. Until next time, enjoy the replays.
Hey yo. Hey yo.